What's good, everybody? Drew Peters, VP of Science Innovation at Alphaline. And on today's video, we're going to talk about an ingredient that is a favorite of mine that is deserving some long-term recognition. So by now, you've probably noticed in products as our superhuman pump, which I happen to have in my hand right here, the inclusion of the ingredient NNB Nutrition's HydroPrime. This is a premium high-yield version of the component glycerol, which is a long-standing ingredient in the world of sports nutrition, and for good reason. Glycerol staked its claim as a simple yet effective and time-tested element of a lot of formulations. It's commonly found in a lot of products such as pre-workouts, hydration-based applications, and especially things for pump, and has been consistently expanding in the market and for good reason. So, the goal of today's video is to take a look at glycerol, what it is, and the potential benefits of using it. So let's kick it off with the technical side of things. In that case, glycerol is a naturally occurring 3-carbon molecule that's classified as an alcohol and is produced as a byproduct of normal metabolism in the human body. It's naturally found as well in triglycerides and consists of a glycerol molecule which is bonded by 2 fatty acids and a phosphate. As you can imagine, it's osmotically active in solute and upon ingestion is rapidly absorbed and evenly dispersed throughout the body's water compartments. The result is increases in osmolality within these compartments and therefore enhances the retention of fluid and causes the expansion of compartments in a concomitant reduction of urine volume, reducing overall urinary output as well as increasing the state of hyperhydration. So the simple way of putting this, and we'll kick this off in hydration status, is that hydration, as you've probably figured out by now, is possibly one of the most important things when it comes to performance as well as overall function. So with that being said, the factors for performance in endurance athletes is dehydration could trigger a cascade of counterproductive effects, whether you're being competitive running, competitive sports, or even having the best workouts possible at the gym and chasing those nasty pumps. It can be counterproductive in ways such as decreasing stroke volume and overall cardiac output, decreasing systemic as well as cutaneous vascular function, reducing heat dissipation, making you less, able to adapt in hot environments, reducing blood flow at hard-working muscle, decreasing sweat rates, increasing core body temperature. So by now you can clearly see that glycerol aiding in hyperhydration properties can be very beneficial and keep dehydration at bay, because dehydrated muscle is not good muscle. So with that being said, let's get a little more specific in the science here. With specific benefits to that knowledge, there's 17 of these studies and counting, with examination of the cardiovascular effects of glycerol and hyperhydration for enhancing performance when consumed pre-exercise. When we break those down, of course, look at the stuff that really sticks in real-world application where the data is strong, what's supported the most. 8 of those studies have very specific positive benefits, and these include improving exercise heart rate, increased cardiovascular filling and stroke volume, as well as increased overall better maintenance of plasma volume. What does that mean in the real world, though? That sounds really cool on paper. Well, in that case, in terms of performance, that means that glycerol supplementation can attenuate exercise-induced cardiovascular strain and, in theory, allow for increased oxygen and nutrient delivery to the working muscles. This also means you can have enhanced waste product removal, so those byproducts from exercise are also shuttled out, helping with endurance. There's also been a large body of studies conducted on the topic of thermoregulatory benefits and heat regulation, with 13 studies and counting specifically examining this, with 6 of which finding positive benefits of note. This includes increasing sweat rate, reducing rectal temperatures, and increasing forearm blood flow. Specifically, the sweat rates can increase by 14 to 50%. Yes, that's quite a wide range, but very promising in a lot of these studies. This also indicates the potential for promotion of evaporative cooling and reduction overall core temperature during enhancing performance benefits. This increased blood flow to the forearm, as noted here, one can imagine, is also indicative that there is increased distribution of circulating blood to the peripheries, arms, legs, so on and so forth. And this translates into allowing for enhanced heat dissipation via convection, radiation, and conduction. All those fun physics terms hitting you at once, even in the human body. So how do we tie those aforementioned benefits together and see exactly how it affects their performance? Well, that's up next here. There's been some studies conducted examining the direct effect of glycerol supplementation on athletic performance and overall performance parameters. One of such studies took a direct effect and looked at the effects of glycerol ingestion on hydration in a subsequent cycle ergometer test using a submaximal load exercise, one of the gold standards when it comes to testing supplements. The study was relatively small but very thorough, having 11 trained adult athletes, mind you, athletes, not an unhealthy population, a healthy population and athletes at this, in an age range of 22 to 40 years old. Each of the subjects was given either a glycerol solution or a placebo prior to exercise, and they recorded variables including the heart rate, core temperature, as well as they examined the prolonged endurance time during submaximal load ergometry, and that's what they measured overall for the study. The results of the study found that the endurance time to exhaust in a particular case was increased significantly, up to 24%, and also that the groups ingesting the glycerol solution had a mean lowered heart rate of anywhere from 2.8 to 4.4 beats per minute, which is very substantial. What the next thing is that, of course, we're talking about the positive benefits, what it is, how is it safe? Because anytime you have some really cool thing like this, everybody wonders what's the trade-off. With that being said, it is a very, very, very thoroughly researched and robust body of studies that have confirmed the safety and efficacy of glycerol. And it's very clear that even though it has its positive benefits, it's also been used at 1 gram per kilo of body weight, pushed as high as 2.9 to 3.1 grams per kilo of body weight, and found to be safe. It's been granted GRAS status from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, and thus overall the risk and toxicity from glycerol use is minimal. So you can rest assured that not only are you aiding your performance, getting those nasty pumps, you can do so safely. One last thing to note is specifically from the sourcing of it, is that when it comes to the source, it definitely matters, bringing us back to HydroPrime. There's been a lot of forms of it to hit the market over the years, and each one seems to have its own host of issues that arise from the use. First and foremost, one of them being that the overall amount of active glycerol per gram material isn't traditionally the highest in things like glycerol monostearate or other subpar forms. And this means that larger amounts of material needed to hit the desired active amount to translate to the benefits seen in the studies. The other part is that the material itself can be problematic, as notorious for being hygroscopic, aka causing everything to turn into a brick. So the properties that are desired for in terms of drawing water into the muscle cell can also cause it to attract water and cause clumping in the products. Thankfully, there's been a lot of technological advances here, both in the material itself as well as manufacturing, and the next generation of glycerol, such as HydroPrime, have been fixed so that there's up to a 13% higher glycerol yield compared to traditional monostearate, as well as mixing better, clumping less, and overall being less hygroscopic. More active ingredients and less clumping, I'd say that's a win-win. So, with that information at hand, and of course a mindset that many of us have been chasing, including myself, because, I'm a bro at the gym and love getting pumps, getting the fullest muscle possible for the nastiest pumps during training session in glycerol and enhancing hydration state can certainly be the ticket to helping you achieve all of your fitness goals. With that being said, give it a shot in our product, such as Superhuman Pump, and see the results for yourself. I don't think you'll be disappointed. And the other part is, it stacks with anything. This has been Drew Peters, breaking down HydroPrime glycerol and glycerol science in general for Alpha Lion in conjunction with NNB Nutrition. Have a great day. Until next time, drop a comment on what subject you would like to see next.